Right, welcome back guys. Episode 10, History Done in a Pub. It's happening right here today.
Like he says, but we're in the beautiful little village of Bildeston.
And like he says, but it's all about how the village left the church behind. If someone asked you to picture the perfect Suffolk village, you'd probably imagine somewhere like this. Somewhere called Bildeston. Beautiful timber framed houses leaning with age. A maze of narrow lanes leading away to the centre. And around every corner, another reminder that this place has centuries old history. Today, Bildeston is home to around 1,000 people, but for much of the Middle Ages it was one of the most prosperous villages in the Suffolk community, thanks to the farming trade and later the flourishing wool and cloth industry. On the face of it, everything about Bildeston seems normal, but appearances can be deceptive because there's one thing missing. Where's the church? Almost every medieval English village always centred around the church. Here, the church is nearly half a mile away, standing completely on its own, and that's led to one of Suffolk's most intriguing historical mysteries. Did the Black Death force an entire village to abandon their homes? Or did prosperity slowly tempt the people of Bildeston to move somewhere better? Today, we're going to walk from the heart of the modern village to its forgotten medieval birthplace and see where the evidence leads us. Before we set off, it's worth taking a moment to appreciate the village as it is today. Although peaceful now, this marketplace was filled with noise. Farmers arriving before sunrise, pack horses loaded with wool, merchants setting out their stalls, and the smell of fresh bread, livestock and the wood smoke filling the air. Many of the timber frame buildings surrounding us date back hundreds of years, the reminder of Bildeston's wealth during the late medieval period. The village prospered through the Suffolk cloth trade, producing textiles that were exported across England and even into Europe. Walking around Bildeston today, you can see evidence of the prosperity of the size of the houses and the quality of the craftsmanship. It's easy to assume that this was always the centre of village life. But that's where the mystery begins. Because when Bildeston first came into existence, none of this was the centre at all. Historians believe that the earliest settlement stood around St Mary Magdalene's Church on the hill just beyond the village. So why did people leave? For centuries, local tradition blamed the Black Death. The story claimed that the plague swept through the hilltop village in the 14th century. The dead were buried, the survivors fled, and the new settlement grew here in the valley. It's a dramatic story, and if you've ever visited one of England's deserted medieval villages, it sounds entirely believable. But is it true? As we leave the marketplace to follow Duke Street, come, we'll find out. We're now walking along Duke Street. Today, it's a peaceful residential road, but This street may preserve a route that people have followed for hundreds of years. Every step takes us further from the modern village and closer to medieval Bildeston. Imagine making this journey 7 centuries ago. Instead of leaving the village behind, you would have been walking right through it. Timber cottages would have lined this road. Smoke drifted from open earths. Children played outside their homes. Farm animals wandered freely. Somewhere nearby stood the manor house of the Lords of Bildeston. This entire hillside was once alive with people. But gradually, that life shifted downhill. Was it because people were fleeing disease? Or were they following opportunity? As the church comes into view, the mystery becomes even more striking. Today, it stands almost alone. But originally, this was the very heart of Bildeston. The church was surrounded by houses, farm buildings and village lanes. The manor house stood nearby, just over there. This was where life revolved around worship, farming and the seasons. Then, something changed. For hundreds of years, people believed that the plague was responsible. And it's certainly true that the Black Death devastated Suffolk after arriving in 1349. Entire families disappeared. Some villages were abandoned altogether. So, was Bildeston another victim? The answer may actually lay back in the village we've just left. In 1264, almost 85 years before the Black Death, Matthew de Lovrel, Lord of Bildeston Manor, received permission from King Henry III to hold a weekly market and an annual fair. That one document changed everything. Suddenly, down in the valley, the main road became the best place to trade. New houses appeared, craftsmen established workshops, merchants settled near the market. Archaeology suggests that the hilltop settlement was already shrinking long before the plague arrived. The Black Death probably accelerated the move, but it didn't begin it. Prosperity did. The village simply moved to the money. One building never moved, St Mary Magdalene's Church. For centuries, villagers continue making the walk that we've just taken to attend services. Even after their homes had moved down into the valley below, the church remained where it always was. It has witnessed every chapter of Bildeston's history, even in modern times. In 1975, after standing for hundreds of years, much of the medieval tower suddenly collapsed. It was a shocking event for the village. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the church was permanently changed. Rather than recreating the tower exactly as it had been, the damaged west end was carefully repaired and re-established. If you look at it closely today, you can see where the tower once stood, and a visible reminder that history really never stops. Standing here beside the church, looking back across the valley towards Bildeston, the story finally comes together. The village below was the successor to one that once stood up here, surrounding the church. The move wasn't sudden, it happened over generations. The Black Death certainly left its mark, like it did across all of England. But the evidence suggests that Bildeston wasn't driven away by fear. Instead, it was drawn downhill towards trade, prosperity and opportunity. Few places tell the story quite so clearly, so next time you come to Bildeston, don't just admire the beautiful buildings around the market square. Go down Chapel Street or Duke Street, come up the hill, up to St Mary Magdalene's Church, because in doing so, you'll be following the same path that generations of villagers have walked for more than 700 years. From the village that is, to the village that was. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. The most important of all, stay safe. Okay, so for all the people that don't know me, Bildeston is very close to my heart. It's where I was brought up, it's where I got into mischief, it's where I went to school, that's where I done everything. So unfortunately I lost my dad, or we lost our dad in 2021, and we're up the churchyard, so I'm just going to go and say hello to him. And this is my dad's gravestone, my hero, legend, miss you, Dad. And unfortunately it's not just my dad that has been buried here or had his ashes laid to rest here. Just over here where the boys are is a very close friend of mine, school friend, went back, well, pretty much in nappies really, and unfortunately he lost his life in a tragic, I don't know how to put it really, it's heartbreaking scenario. He had his life cruelly taken away from him by an absolute, excuse my language, I'm not going to say it. Brian, love you man, sorry buddy. And then next door is Brian's mum. Hi Lola. So sad times, but both of them were legends too. Love you guys. Look at the merch. Have you seen the merch, Pete? Look at that one. Lovely blue. You can get them in all colours. Well, I say all colours. You can get them in 3 colours. Blue, blue, suicidal yellow. That's what I like to call it anyway. Yellow, baby. Get me tits in. Should we do a fashion show? Fashion show. One more for luck. Anyway,
Cheers.
thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for watching. If you liked what you've seen, you know what to do.
Like,
Comment, subscribe, all the good stuff.
on all your socials, you know the drill.
Yeah.
We say it week in, week out. This is now week 10. Get on it.
Peeps, we do the material every Sunday morning, quite often twice a week, to get this out there, just for entertainment for you guys. We love doing it. However, we do it off our own back. You know, everything is paid for by ourselves. So just help us get this out there a bit more, you know.
Share it.
Doesn't
Share
take
it.
a lot.
So please,
Doesn't take a lot.
you know, we need to get out there. And you know, I wouldn't mind at least a free coffee at the end of the day. You know,
Good
that's all I'm
shout,
asking
mate.
for.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, send a coffee, or, of course, a beer. So yeah, thanks again. Remember, stay safe. Most importantly of all, take care.